Initiating launch sequence. 3, 2, 1.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Jeb.
And
we're in space.
Coming at you live from the sunny shores of the Catmos Empire.
That was the Kitmos Empire.
It's a pronunciation thing.
Local.
It's local dialect. It is technically the Catmos Empire, but it's like, United States of America versus USA. Same thing.
This is true. Australia versus Australia.
Yeah, pronunciation. Dialect, it's fine. Today, we want to talk to everybody about Kickstarter and collective fear of missing out, and also withholding the opportunity to even have missed out in the first place. It's rife.
It is rife. It's rife with us, mostly, and with people we know.
We do. We know a bunch of people who are Kickstarter aficionados. We like to kickstart things because we want them to happen. And there's only been a few situations where things have turned out for the worse with Kickstarter stuff. Just a couple little disappointments, nothing huge. I'm not going to name names. But by Jove, when some of those ones do fail, you just want to know. But no, we are talking about Kickstarters and how we want things to happen. We see these things, they excite us.
Yes, no, it's true. The amount of people I follow on Twitter that just suddenly announce they're doing a Kickstarter, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I should back it. I don't know. Better look. Mm-hmm. Oh, then how much do I give them? I don't know.
What's a reasonable amount? When do you stop spending? Because that's a problem.
Yep, and especially as a lot of them are American, and we're not. So you're mentally converting your currency the entire time.
So we've backed it at, say, $100. Yeah, it's $100.
That's all right.
But then we have to watch the exchange rate for the next month and a bit to make sure we're not actually spending $200.
That's true. And that actually did sort of happen with us kickstarting something. And by the time the payment rolled around, conversion rate was not good. Shipping was very expensive. And what was only $200 ended up being nearly $500.
But we do have a couple of others that we have on the try. Now, we have a big black hole, quasar-esque, gargantuan mass of a Kickstarter that we need to talk about.
Oh, yes.
Right up the top. I'm going to tell you a little bit of thing about Kingdom Death Monster. Specifically, Kingdom Death Monster. That's what it's called. Not Kingdom Death Monster. It is huge.
Oh, yes.
In scale, physical gravity. It is, I believe, a 12-pound box that comes to your house. This is the base game, and this is a board game, people. This is a tabletop game that is played with dice and cards and rules and bits of paper and characters and miniatures. And it is so filled with lore and drama and just stuff going on that you cannot help but be engrossed in it. It somehow manages to capture fantasy and survival horror on a tabletop game. And
very perfectly, might I add. It's not just this weird little obscure mix that you hope works out. We've carefully thought about putting twin girls as the devil dressed in tongues and dicks.
Yep. Tongues and dicks. You heard right. Tongues and dicks. Now, a lot of these things that the more out there figures for Kingdom Death Monster aren't actually, I'm going to butcher the word, canonical.
We'll go with that one.
Yeah, it's not actually part of the direct game. It's not actually part of the rule set. They're just extra bits of the story you can have.
Oh, yeah, the amount of add-ons, even if it's just a figure that you can get for this game is insane. I don't know how much you would actually spend if you got the game and every single add-on, but you would probably take out a second mortgage on your house if you were lucky enough to get a first mortgage.
Yes. Now, they did run an option where you could get the game and all the bits that had come before, minus special rights, exclusive objects. That's fine.
And that's fine. That's from the first Kickstarter. You missed out. Too bad.
That's including all the new expansions and add-ons for the next thing. And I believe it ran somewhere in the vicinity of $2,000 US.
Yep, and that's not including your shipping.
Not including shipping. These did sell out within the first couple of hours.
Yeah.
Just to give a scale of how avid people want this game.
I think the one thing that we really need to express with Kingdom Death is that it is one of the more successful, if not the most successful Kickstarter campaign. How much did it raise?
I think in excess of 12 million US dollars.
And in the first hour, was it?
More than 2 million.
And that was exceeding what they were asking for.
That funded the game. That shattered all of their stretch goals they had listed. They invented new stretch goals just to have, basically. Because they didn't think they were going to get that much. The first campaign raised $2 million over a couple of months, or a month at the minimum. Which was like, whoa, I can't believe how much it's raised. But this was 12 million, more than 2 million in the first hour. It was a ridiculous thing to see.
Yeah.
Now, this game is huge. It is big. It has garnered a cult following. There is some updates that have occurred to it. There is a lot of new content they've pushed out for it. And look, it is a very well-polished, well-crafted thing. This wasn't ever going to fail. On the flip side, though, we do have a lot of other things. And not many that we've backed have failed. But there has been a couple. Ones that I've been interested in, and they do get overshadowed by other Kickstarters.
Yes.
Because, everyone commits to that one big one. They throw their asteroids at Jupiter, and they just get consumed, and Jupiter grows ever bigger. But, it doesn't really matter, because, it's there.
Yeah, that's all right.
But things like, one that I want to talk about very briefly is a very, very stylish and beautiful looking game called Narita Boy. By Studio Koba. This captures for me the essence of video games in the 90s and 80s.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing, and they've put a lot of work into it. The soundtrack's amazing. The graphics are that lovely pixel art thing that has gone through a resurgence recently, especially Hyperlight Drifter. That's, really kicked that over the line, and people are going back to that.
Yeah.
And
really well-polished pixel art stuff.
Absolutely. And coming from a Spanish background, that's where the...
Very heavy Japanese influences.
It's an incredible mix of culture, but it works.
It does, and it's beautiful. Now, they just got over the line.
By dollars.
By dollars. I think they cleared their first stretch goal. And, this was limping in at, 95% on the last day in the last few hours just to get over the line. Now, we did back it at a premium tier, let's say, because as soon as I saw this game, I needed to have it in my life. I wanted this to exist, not only for me, but for other people. And I think that's part of what people end up throwing their money at things like this for.
Yeah, it's true. This is not a game I didn't want to see exist. It needed to happen. Yeah, basically.
We really want this game to happen, and it was one of those things that it was so close, and we chucked our money at it day dot just to make sure we were on the ground. So we were like, oh no, this is gonna smash it. It's $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. It's fine. These guys just got over the line with a really well polished, really well developed concept. They had animations, they had music, they had everything going for them, but it only just got over the line. Whereas some things that I have seen, like the Ultimate Cooler, I think was one of the tragic failures of Kickstarter.
Yes.
These guys raised in the millions of dollars to basically make an esky or a chili bun.
A chili bun?
Or, for our American listener, a cooler. They had an integrated stereo. It had a stainless steel cutting board on top. It was pretty fancy. It had a radio. I'm pretty sure it was battery powered. Had a lot. I think
so. Yeah.
Had a lot of stuff going on for it, but because they had sort of overreached what they really should have been able to do, they were like, "Oh, we'll just do this. We'll just chuck this on it. It'll be perfect."
It's fine.
They blew all their money on production.
Yep.
Backers never really... I think a handful of them got 2 backers. They started having to sell units to fund the production again, and it all just fell apart. We get this weird gamut of these things got kickstarted for millions because they should be.
Yeah.
And then there's these ones that just get over the line or don't get funded, but they really should have.
Yeah, and this is like the favorite tragedy story, and I want to talk about one very specifically.
Go ahead.
Where they raise more than they need, way more, and everything should be okay. But something goes wrong, and everything is a bust, and backers basically see nothing. And I would like to talk about the comic book Pictures for Sad Children that was done by John Campbell, very famously. He asked for $8,000. That was all he wanted.
It's not much.
No, and he raised over $51,000.
Oh, okay. So well overstepped his boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem. He shipped around 800 of the books. 2 years later, wrote a 4,500 word rambling note on his Kickstarter and showed a video of him burning the remainder.
Why?
I don't know.
It's like, does someone know what happened?
He basically just, I think he had a bit of a breakdown. He had money issues going on, but part of his rant, or protest as he calls it, was against capitalism and the negative impact humans have on each other and the world.
Oh my god.
And just kind of lost it. And
Seems like that Tony 2012 guy.
I know. And it sort of garbled on about if you have negative feelings about the actions I'm taking, well, that's what I'm protesting against. Don't feel bad.
What the hell, guy? It's like, and
yes.
I think this comes around to, like, we got to remember, like, the idea, the ethos behind Kickstarter is you're not buying a product.
No.
You're donating money to a person who in turn says, you know what? If you donate money to me and this works, I'll give you something in return. But if it doesn't work out, I'm sorry, I can't give it back. And fundamentally, it's a gamble.
Absolutely it is. I really appreciate the all or nothing campaigns where they say, look, this is what we're hitting. If we get that, that's good. We'll fund it. Everything will happen. If we don't, if we're off by even $1, you don't have to pay us. I know that's specifically Kickstarter. I know there are options, especially with like Indiegogo and GoFundMe and stuff. Where
and we are talking heavily about Kickstarters. They are probably the most prominent. There
absolutely.
are other funding services out there, obviously. They have their own tails, but Kickstarter is probably the most notable.
But these other ones are very much geared towards, look, we want to raise $2,000, but if we only raise 100, well, we'll take your 100. Where I like the gamble that Kickstarter does. It sort of says, well, if we don't raise it, we don't make it. And no one loses.
Now, a lot of these things that do get produced, they're labours of love. They're people who aren't necessarily consummate professionals, but they've got a lot of passion and they want to deliver a well-polished product.
Yes.
Now, there has been, in my history, one notable exception to this rule being Mighty Number 9. Now, I am a big fan of Mega Man. Do really enjoy the Mega Man games. I've played a whole bunch of them, including the RPG one on PlayStation 2. I'm a fan of Mega Man, and I was like, oh man, I'm so excited for this Mighty Number 9. This looks so good. It was launched at PAX. They hit their funding goals like straight away. It was a really good looking game.
Yeah, I was going to say it looked really good and really promising as a sort of spiritual successor to the Mega Man games. Absolutely.
Now, I had backed it at a level where I was supposed to get a box and a little like a game manual and a little cartridge USB key thing. It was all going to come in a little cardboard box. And it was going to be like your old school, go down to the video shop and there it is, game. Post the game being funded, smashed its stretch goals. It was getting released on everything, and I think that's another thing we want to come back around to. But they got picked up by a publisher. So we had promised that we would fund them, and then they've been picked up by a publishing company who said, we will also give you money, but we get to publish the game. So every backer who backed a physical reward, I think except the t-shirts, got stiffed.
That is terrible.
So I had chucked probably a little bit over 120 Australian dollars at this game. Just because I thought, like, this is going to be really good. It's going to be great. It's Mega Man, all new and stuff like that. I got a download key.
Wow.
When it came out, and The game was a massive disappointment. It felt like it was something that should have been on the Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm.
The whole premise of it was a bit janky, a bit cheap, and it just didn't work. It wasn't Mega Man. This was like the rip-off Mega Man that was on the Sega or something like that. It just didn't work. It was no good. And I was like, this is so close to working, but it just feels like a demo.
Oh, that's the worst.
And we got like, the game got published. It was out there.
Yeah, you can buy it on the PlayStation Store if you want to.
But it sucks.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things about it.
No, look, I this is the thing that I desperately wanted to like, but I couldn't, and I felt betrayed. But the thing is, I chucked my money at it because we wanted it to be out there. We wanted other people to play it, not just me. But you, and Bill, and Joe, and Fred, and everybody you know, they can play it too.
That's right.
And I think that's what some of these campaigns really latch into, is
yes.
Like, you get the Super Bash version, and so does everybody else, because if you don't back it, nobody's going to get it.
Yep.
Nobody.
No one's going to get it at all.
No.
Too bad.
Too bad. It's not going to happen.
There you go. Well, I haven't had anything like that in terms of Kickstarters failing to provide what they say, but I have had the 2+ year wait for one item of a Kickstarter. Yes. So the infamous, and this is not a gaming Kickstarter, it was a music one. So back in 2013, I believe it was.
Go 23rd.
23rd. Amanda Palmer launched her infamous Kickstarter to create Theatre is Evil, which is fine. There's, 1,001 stories behind that, and that's for you to go and look up in your own time.
Amanda Palmer Theatre is Evil, hashtag.
Hashtag TNJ_in space. Check it out. But I kickstarted it at one of the higher levels, specifically to get the Bedsong book, which is a beautiful photographic book with writings and emails and things all throughout it, based on the song The Bedsong.
It's really like the experience of what she went through creating this whole thing.
Yeah, and because it's very easy to find out, so it's not, nobody's personal business on the line, but it's very specifically from Neil Gaiman's experiences and things that he shared with her, and she wrote the song primarily for him, and the feelings that she had around that story and whatnot. And it's a beautiful song. She's recorded it twice, actually. But, and we now have a cat, so...
Captain Xanthor is in the building.
So, this book was supposed to be this amazing, beautiful, wonderful, one-of-a-kind thing. Only 600 of them were ever going to be made. And going to be signed by everybody, and it was, a really super personal, special little item that you could get. And I kickstarted it. Everything went through. She made lots and lots of money on it. That's fine. But they were so pedantic about this book. Because it wasn't just a book. You didn't just get a book. You got a book in a box that you could sit on your coffee table and you could look at it, or you could take it out of the box and take the book apart and hang up all the pictures and have a little art gallery in your house. That's, it was a pretty special thing. But the research that went into getting it all sorted out wasn't done prior to the Kickstarter going through. So it was... People want it? Alright, now we'll look at who's going to make the box, who's going to make the latches, who's going to make the hinges, who's going to varnish it. And the amount of setbacks they had with it, things came back and they didn't like it and whatnot. So it took 2 years after, and this is not after the Kickstarter ended, this is after every other item of the Kickstarter had been delivered and sent to every person that had backed it. We waited for this book. And... funny story, after all this fuffing around that they did, getting it to be the most perfect book in a box you ever did see. And it's a wooden box, might I add. It's not just...
It's not a cardboard. It's not like you've gone down and got a Happy Meal and
it's not a pizza box.
No.
It's a hardwood box laid with velvet.
It's a box.
Yeah, it's a box.
It's a box.
It's beautiful. But the actual latch, which was one of the main issues that they had on it, I have since broken. And not by doing anything exciting. It slipped, we're moving the coffee table, it slipped out of the coffee table. I don't think it even went, 30 centimetres.
Yeah, okay.
Roughly.
Alright, true story. I was moving the coffee table. It was on the shelf underneath the coffee table. I thought I could move it all in one piece. It didn't work out. It dropped. It broke. Alright? Now you found out, okay? Yeah, everybody happy? Good. Alright, moving on. Back to the story.
True story.
Anyway, it dropped.
It dropped, and it broke.
It broke.
And it didn't even hit with that side on the ground.
No.
It was hinges first.
Yeah.
And this latch is broken, so I now have to replace it. Which is fine, because clearly it didn't cost much. But I waited 2 years for this latch. And it's broken.
Yep.
By falling off a coffee table.
Yep. It's a coffee table book, people. It's a coffee table book. It's
So-
its natural habitat.
So I want to know where that 2 years was spent. Like, I
Amanda
don't know.
Palmer, if you're listening, hey,
Hey, what's up?
what's up? Should follow us. TNJ_in_space.
That's Twitter.
That's Twitter.
But yeah, so I think that's also a really interesting other side of the Kickstarter saga, is that you can still spend years and years and years trying to perfect this product that you're giving to your backers, and it still doesn't even close to measure up to the mark.
No, but at the same time, like, you get to live the drama with
Oh,
the drama. And I
absolutely.
love when these people are like, oh, look, this is what's going on. This is what... The worst thing is silence.
Yes.
It's like, oh, we've got your money.
3 years later, suddenly something just arrives
Yeah.
on your doorstep, and
As-
you're like,
as
that's right, I backed this.
That's right. And as magical and Christmassy as that is, it's frustrating. What you just want is like, oh, things are going to hell, but we're working through it.
Yeah.
That's what you want to know.
Yeah.
By some of them that are out there are ridiculous.
I'm not going to lie, you're right.
I'm going to cite a particular case where a man wanted to raise money through an Indiegogo campaign to make a potato salad. He did. He wanted that potato salad, and he was passionate, and he was emboldened in his approach to making a potato salad. And you know what? He raised that money to make his potato salad. Do you know how much he was asking for?
No.
$10.
Oh.
Because that's how much it takes to make a salad. Do you know how much he raised?
No.
$50,000.
That's amazing.
To credit this man, and I can't remember his name, so I apologize. He said that if he raised this stretch goal amount of money, and he had stretch goals for making a potato salad. I believe one of them was a potato salad party where everyone would come over and everyone would have potato salad that he made, and they could bring their own potato salad. Potato salad count, hashtag. No. One of his, like, big stretch goals was, if you backed it for enough, whatever, he was going to publish a potato salad cooking book. And you know what? The fucking guy delivered. He made a potato salad cooking book. And I've got to say, the ridiculousness of this whole concept is amazing. He wanted $10 to make a frickin' potato salad.
And he raised...
$50,000.
That is beautiful. That's a beautiful story.
But he delivered. He came through. He wasn't just some guy. He wasn't some fly-by-night operation. He was like, no, this is my reason to be. People need to know how to make this potato salad that I am going to make.
And you know what? That's how you kickstart right.
Yeah. That's right.
If you're going to provide a product, doesn't matter how big or small this product is, you deliver. You get to that end goal and you go, yeah, you know what? There you go. I raised all my money, and here are all my stretch goals, and I did all of it.
Yep.
You didn't burn your books and
No.
protest capitalism.
And you know what, ultimately, I think, is as much as it's... that, oh my god.
I know!
Oh, like, we gave you our money, like, just so you could make something. That's the whole idea behind Kickstarter. And they're like,
Absolutely.
I'm protesting capitalism. Like, this isn't capitalism. I'm pretty sure this is venture communism.
That sounds about right.
Like, I have an idea. Can everyone give me some money? Yeah, but you got to give back. Okay, and then you know what? We don't actually expect you to keep going.
No, you wanted one product to
Yeah.
be made, and you wanted people to assist you doing that.
Yeah.
And they gave you the money, and
Yeah.
you gave that one product. And you know what? If you want to call that a day, done.
Yeah,
we
like
don't care.
if it's done and the idea is done, it's run its course, people who wanted it have got it, and it's not a viable option after that, you know what? That's okay, because you went out there and we all made something together, and that feels good.
It does.
But you know what doesn't feel good? Apparently the shady underground dealings of off-market Kickstarters. So apparently this is something I've just learned about recently. This is amazing and terrible.
Oh, good.
Certain companies from places go through Kickstarters, find products that are popular and like meeting their stretch goals and stuff like that, and then rush to create knockoff versions of them
Oh, damn.
and sell to the public before the original makers are able to do it. So a big one of this is the fidget cubes.
Oh, yes. Mm.
And the fidget spinners as
Yes.
well. Now, these were just like they're little novelty items, okay? They're just little bitty things. You literally fiddle with them.
Yep.
That's what they're made for. But apparently, the original fidget cube markets for about $20, $25 Australian, something around there. Other companies rush to market with copycat versions of them.
Ooh.
Like Borby versions, fidget object,
Yep.
cube of interest type situation.
Yep.
And they rushed to market and they got them out before the original ones could sell. Now, as you can probably imagine, a lot of people have heard about these. They've seen them. A few people have probably got their early release versions of them. And then they go down, they buy these other ones for $10 because it's at the store. It's $10. Little do they know that the dream of these people has been taken and misappropriated by a company that already has a facility to manufacture these objects. They just didn't have the idea. So it becomes this whole, and I'm stealing a phrase from Silicon Valley, a brain fuck, where they take the idea from somebody and make it their own. And
That's the
terrible.
worst.
And I can just see it happen to so many things. Weighted blankets. That's a Kickstarter. Why? I get the science behind it. I love a snuggly blanket. I'm a heavy blanket person. I die in summer because I can't have doonas. But that's the thing. And I guarantee you, if that Kickstarter goes ahead, there'll be a company out there that says oh, we'll just fill them with lead.
Yeah, it's fine. Who cares?
Which is fine. We'll put steel wool in it. Make it heavy. That's what they want, right? 50-kilo blanket. Go for it.
No one cares. It's fine.
No.
You know what? We're making the money.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's gone then. That dream has been taken and gone, and then it's probably been destroyed because someone made a cheap knockoff version of it.
Yeah, it's true. It's the modern day version of the TV sales, your Danos Direct. Whatever, I don't know what the American equivalent of that is. Isn't it still Danos Direct? We'll just say that it is.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, but your TV shopping stuff.
Your Vince offer late night shopping. But wait, there's more. Sham wow, check it out.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
That guy.
And they would do the same thing. Somebody would have a product. Oh, we'll rush and we'll make it TV exclusive, and then somebody else in China will go and make it cheaper again. And so you've got this series of knockoffs coming down the line until you get the supermarket brand version of it. Yeah. Which is even cheaper than and worse made than the knockoff of the knockoff of the original product.
And see, for me, this falls into what I really don't want to see out of Kickstarters. Yes. Because Kickstarter is a beautiful thing. Again, venture communism. It's kind of amazing if you think about it. It's we all want this. Let's chip in. Everyone chip in $20 and we'll get it to happen. And everybody gets to enjoy it. Because you're not getting money back. You're just getting the thing. Yeah,
you're investing on the ground floor, basically.
You're investing in a wish.
In a hope and dream.
Basically, you are. But it gets granted. It's kind of a weird genie that actually kind of sometimes mutually works. It's great. But the people who make these ones that work, that we love, they're unique products. They're things that can't really easily be imitated. No. And particularly when you have, oh, look, if you've Kickstarted this for $2,000, we'll give you something special, it'll be nice, and then you get to say, oh, I got the special version of that. And that's a nice feeling, It's true. Dragoon, again, we've recently Kickstarted, because board game Kickstarters are an Achilles heel of ours. It's true. If you get the special version of it, which we did, your little meeples, which I'm learning is that's the term for it. Correct. Come in cast metal. That's cool.
That's very cool.
That's very cool. And they're coated in actual gold and silver, and that's freaking amazing. Whereas the standard version of it, just to be produced, comes in resin cast plastic, and that's cool too. But fundamentally, this is something that wasn't going to happen without everybody sort of chipping in a little bit to that little dream.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool, and I like that. But I'm still so afraid every time I kickstart something that it's gonna be terrible. I'm like, nah, this is the one. This is the one that I get shipped an actual troll to my house that is gonna nibble at my ankles. And the other thing that happens with some of these amazing Kickstarters is you kind of don't really want the product, you want the reward on top of the product.
Yeah, so after my little dabble with the Amanda Palmer, was the first thing I ever kickstarted, Machine of Death, Game of Assassination came out. I was a big fan of the Machine of Death books prior, the book. And they were doing the anthology for the second one, and then David Mulkey decided to turn it into a board game, because why not? So he got a bunch of people together, and they created this crazy game, and seriously, go find it. It's amazing fun.
It is a lot of fun.
But I personally backed it at the early bird level, which meant that I got a pre-production run version of the second book.
Yep.
Which meant it didn't necessarily have all the typos fixed. It didn't have page numbers. It didn't have a lot of stuff, but the stories were all there, and Dave Mulkey signed it, and I later got Chris Straub to sign it for me as well, which is pretty cool. But some of the higher levels of their Kickstarter campaign, because you know what? If people are going to throw money at you, why not give them all some rewards?
So start me off. I'm looking at the list here. Start me off at the $1,000 tier.
Okay, so at $1,000, you become the sponsor of 15 extra cards added to the base game.
Excellent.
And the guys, so Chris Straub and Dave Mulkey, would work personally with you to craft them, and you also get everything else below.
So you get to directly influence this game.
Yes.
That's just like you made the game yourself.
Yes, and you're credited in the rule book, and 3 people actually backed that one, which was pretty cool. And that was Anywhere in the World. Now, on from that, at the $3,000 level...
$3,000 tier.
You could get a pizza party!
Oh, yes.
With Chris and David. But unfortunately that was US and Canada only, because I very much wanted to have a pizza party with Dave Mulkey and Chris Straub.
One of these days, we're just going to fly over to the States and just yes, we are staying here for the duration of this Kickstarter so we can have a pizza party. Because the pizza party has not been exclusive to this. I have seen a couple of pizza party options.
Yes, look, I've seen that too, where they directly come and interact with you. So I'll come back to this because it does get more ridiculous. But again, with the Amanda Palmer one, at the $10,000 level, she would come and paint something. And one of my friends actually...
Could I get her to paint the house?
Yeah, you could. There was 2 people that backed it at that level. I actually personally knew one of them. The first lady got a mural painted on her nursery wall.
Excellent.
And my friend, who was the second backer at that tier, she got her portrait. Her nude portrait, might I add.
Oh, my.
Painted by Amanda Palmer. And they spent the day together and lunch, and her mother cooked, and it was actually really lovely.
So that's pretty cool, and you get something out of it, don't you?
And for her, I mean, realistically, with that particular Kickstarter, it wasn't just we're producing an album and a bunch of stuff because whatever. It was we're producing an album and we're touring it. So for her, it was justifying, this is plane tickets, this is carding music equipment, this is putting them up in, cheap ass hotels and getting them venues.
This is paying for your roadies. This is getting stuff to happen.
Yeah, so when you think about it on that level, and she actually does have a very sort of personal connection with Amanda, so it's not too much of a stretch for that particular person to have backed it at that level. But for her, it was a justification of helping this to move beyond just being an album. This is touring it.
This is a thing now.
So, that's really lovely, but I'd like to come back to the other things.
Back to Chris Straub and David Mulkey.
And their craziness. So at $9,999, you would get a car.
That's not even $10,000, Jeb.
It's not. And in Australia, a new car, well, look, it doesn't say it was going to be a new car.
Specifically, what does it say?
Specifically, it says any tier, tycoon or lesser, which I can't remember specifically. I can look at what that is. That's the $229 level. Or lower except Early Bird, which is the one I backed, because that was Early Bird, that's it. No one else can have it. And you get a car delivered to your house or place of business with the registration transferred into your name. You do not get to choose what kind of car it is, nor the condition of the car, but you will own it. That was only for America.
That's amazing.
Do you know what I'm really sad about?
What's that?
No one backed it.
That's so sad.
I would have backed it.
That would have been the best thing ever. Just like at the office, and then like, there's some guy here with a car for you, and there's Chris Straub and David Melky holding like a bag of like Five Guys burgers and fries, like sipping on a shake, and it's like, oh, here's your car. There's your papers. Just sign here. Yep, great. All right, we gotta get back on the road because you live in the Midwest and we're from Seattle. So see you later. I can see them doing that.
I can see them doing that too. But I can also see your car having no tires and being on fire.
It could be on a flatbed.
It could be.
You know what? I kind of think I would have preferred it if they did.
Yeah.
It's like, here's an actual dumpster fire on wheels.
Yep.
It's registered.
And it's for you.
Merry Christmas.
See you later.
See you later. So that's what you got for $9,999. And for just $1 more.
No, yep, for $1 more.
Just one. One single US dinero.
You could back Bad Decisions, which was a 4-hour MP3 of garbled, distorted, unlistable wails of your name, screeched over and over and over and over by the foulest voices we can summon. No copy of the game is included with this tier. To add a copy of the game, use the add-on page. So for $10,000, you got nothing but 4 hours of your name being screeched by 2 men.
No, specifically the foulest voices they could summon.
Well, that's true, actually. It might not be them. It could be just people from the street.
They could have eaten a lot of beans.
They could have. That's skill.
Well, if it's Bob, it wouldn't be too hard.
That's true. My name
Maybe
would
like,
be difficult.
Jill. You can pull that off.
Yeah, look, you could. Again, nobody backed that tier,
No.
and I'm very disappointed because I
And
would love to have heard
the
that.
world is less for it.
It is.
But look, this is our rantings on Kickstarter and pre-caveat emptor.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the right Latin, but let's go with that. Because look,
It is now.
There's a lot of great stuff out there, and there's a lot of great things that are being created because of Kickstarter.
That's it.
I don't think this is something that I ever want to see stop.
No, I think this is where the new creation of products
Yeah.
is very comfortable.
Yeah.
I think, especially in, this day and age, knowing that the product we're choosing to purchase, essentially, is coming from a reliable source, from someone we trust, and you get in the updates, especially when, people are very on the ball with it, visuals of what's going on.
Yeah.
You get to see where the production run's at, you get to see test images, you get to see what they're doing. It's not radio silence unless you're a really bad Kickstart runner. That, I don't know if that's a word, but it is now.
Yeah. And you know what? Ultimately, as a consumer, and particularly like nerdy consumers, board games, video games, all that sort of stuff, we get to choose what we want to happen. We don't have to get another Call of Duty.
No, absolutely not.
We can get goddamn Narita Boy.
We can get Narita Boy. We can get Mighty Number 9 and be sad about it, but we can still get it, and we get to be the people that are greenlighting this stuff.
Yeah, we can say, like, look, this shows promise. We like what you want to do. Let's make it happen.
But if somebody said, I want to run a Kickstarter and I want $55,000 and it's just Frogger again, I'm not going to kickstart that.
No.
Ain't no one going to kickstart that.
No.
And
similarly, I want $200 million to make another white guy in World War II.
That's the point where we as a collective mass can go, I don't want to see that game.
Something that's
Thumbs
innovative, something that's got passion, something that's got charm, something that shows that you know video games and you really want to make an add to the whole.
Yeah.
That'll probably get through.
Yeah. I would say that it would. If you know your market and you know your product, people are going to be more likely to throw you a couple of bucks than
That's
if
right.
you want.
However, and as painful as this is to say, sometimes your idea is bad.
Yeah. Kickstarter's a good way for you to be critiqued on that.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to put their money where your mouth ain't.
Basically. And look, you know what? Don't feel bad about it. Just try again.
That's right.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Basically, that's where it comes down to. So from the sunny shores of the three suns slowly descending in the sky, this is Tom and Jeb in space saying something poignant about beaches and shores and suns, rise, sunset, cats at the cradle, silver spoon, little boy blue, lady in the moon. It's good. It's fine.
And until next time,
stay people.
Tom and Jeb in space.
Hi Spacernauts, thanks for joining us this week in the Escape Pod. If you're listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And feel free to let us know what you thought by leaving us a comment. And you can also find it for download at tomandjebinspace.libsyn.com. Don't forget to join us for our drink fighting gaming sessions, Drunk Punch, on YouTube, and our weekly comic at tomandjebinspace.tumblr.com. You can also find us on Instagram at tomandjebinspace and Twitter, TNJ_inspace, because it was too many characters the other way. And if you want to shoot us an email, feel free to do so by sending it to tomandjebinspace@gmail.com. All one word, except for the @ obviously. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you next time with hopefully more fun things that you like to listen to. Bye!